Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we continue to explore the complete compound, as I discussed in the previous lesson, that when you have two nouns coming together, then you have to look at their relationship with one another, and it could lead to either us concluding that those two nouns make up an incomplete compound or a complete compound. So now I want to look at how to identify a complete compound. So, and again, our focus is nominal sentence. Nominal sentence, again, as a reminder, is the one that that starts with a noun. So we're focused on the nominal sentence, starts with a noun, and explores. Again, we're exploring the relationship of at least two nouns together. Okay, so a complete compound, or for a nominal sentence, the two fundamental elements that in the English language you need, and also Arabic's similar, is you need a subject. Okay, and it's usually a noun that is in the beginning of a sentence. Okay. The second element you need is a predicate. Okay, and that one is again what comes after the subject, and it tells you gives you information about the subject. Now in Arabic, the subject is called mubtada. Okay, and the predicate is called the khabar. Okay, so that makes the two words one. If you have two nouns coming together, one will make the subject and the other could make the predicate, and you have to identify. So let's talk more about the subject here. Subject usually, how do we identify that? So first, it has to be a noun. Second, it is usually, and you notice how I use the word usually typically a lot. Well, that's how language works. There are exceptions, okay? So we focus on, if you understand 90% of the application, at least we will grasp 90% of the rules in the language, and the 10% of the exceptions we'll just have to learn and memorize and learn through experience. Okay, so usually definite noun. It's usually a definite noun. So far, in what I have discussed with you, I've only given you one form of the definite noun, which is the one that accepts alif lam, a noun that accepts an alif lam, and when you see that, such as al-kitabu, then you know that's a definite noun. Now, the predicate usually is indefinite. Now you see how that definite and indefinite discussion about the noun is going to allow you to differentiate and have some chance of determining whether one would serve as a subject of a sentence and the other would serve as a predicate. So usually, the predicate or the khabar is usually an indefinite noun. It agrees with the subject in gender and number. Okay, meaning the case. So for instance, if it's singular, then it'll be singular. If the subject is dual, then the khabar will be dual. If the subject is plural, then the khabar will be plural, generally. And there are exceptions, but I want to stick to the main frame here, okay? We'll go to the periphery as it becomes relevant. And that's why, because I don't want to confuse you. So let's work with this for the time being, okay? That's one thing. So now let's use an example. And example I'm going to bring in, which will introduce you to a new type of a definite. But example is huwa mu'minun. Okay, let's work with this. Huwa is, so the translation is he is. So let me write it another way so it's clear to people. So the word here, huwa, means he. And this is a believer. Why did we say it's a? Because of the tanween. So it refers to an indefinite. So a believer. Now let's unpack this further. Isn't this sentence in Arabic, huwa mu'minun, he? He is a noun, just like in English, it's a pronoun. So we can say that this is a noun. Okay? And I will tell you a new rule. Huwa, he, pronouns are definite in Arabic. Okay? So now we've got a noun that's definite because I just told you the rule. So all the pronouns are definite. And I'll give you a list of pronouns later. I'll define for you all the different types of definite nouns. That's going to increase your vocabulary. That is to come. But let's focus on this. Huwa is a noun. It's definite. And mu'minun is a noun. How do we know that? It's because of the tanween. It accepts tanween. Nouns accept tanween. Okay, so that's a noun. And now I can easily see, if I don't know any other rule, and based on the rules I know, because it's taking tanween, it is going to be indefinite. Okay? And when that's indefinite, the rules we've learned, two nouns coming together makes a compound. Is it a complete compound? Yes, because we've got a definite noun that can serve as the subject, because we learned that that's what subject can take as a definite noun. And we got a second noun that can serve as the predicate. It typically follows it follows the typical rule of an indefinite noun, and so it's the khabar, is a complete sentence. And the translation will be, he is, I'm going to take the translation here, he is a believer. Where did the a come from? From the indefinite part of the mu'minun. Where's the is coming from? That's coming from the construction of a nominal sentence. Once you know it's a nominal sentence, the is, and are, and these types of things, and am, they will be implied in the Arabic language. And it's the construction of a subject-predicate relationship that allows you to translate it as is a believer. Okay? So, inshallah, I hope this was useful. You're expanding your horizons. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this journey easy for us. May He guard us against any sins, and may He guard us against any errors, and may He increase us in His love, inshallah, and that we continue to learn this language for His sake, so that we develop a strong relationship with the final scripture that He has sent for our guidance. Inshallah, may Allah help you and help me. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.